Good evening, Pastor Aaron and my fellow classmates. This is Scott Springer coming to you from Noblesville, Indiana, to report on the Pay It Forward assignment that we had for this week. When I first started looking at the assignment, I thought that 6 was going to be quite difficult to come by between Friday and this evening, and I wasn't really familiar with the movie actually. So it happened to be on Netflix. My wife and I watched it this weekend, and although I was told to have Kleenex by, it didn't tear jerk me like I thought it was going to, although it was a quite sad ending to the movie. But it was a very good movie. If you haven't watched the whole thing, I do definitely recommend it. So on to the 6 acts plus a bonus that my intention is doing on Monday of this coming week. So starting off, we have our youth pastor and his wife, and we, as a group, we took a trip to the Creation Museum this weekend. We have a creation small group that we are a part of, and so the group took a trip to the Creation Museum to go through the museum, which was incredible. I love it. It's the second time that I've been there, so enjoyed it thoroughly once again. And they had mentioned that they were having a little bit of financial strain. They didn't want to have to pull from savings, and so they were just a little strapped. So to start with, we actually paid for their lunch that day, my wife and I. We let them know, and they, of course, tried to have us stop, but I wouldn't have anything to do with that, and we ended up paying for their lunch. So they were very appreciative and gave us some big hugs. It was really nice. The next act that I have done during this time is we have right now going on in Noblesville, at least for the Noblesville schools, it is fall break, and it's a 2-week break, so a lot of parents take the time to take their children on a trip to Florida or wherever. So I enjoy mowing. It's my time that I can think and that I can kind of talk to God while I'm out in nature. I wrote about that a few courses ago when we were going over where our kind of place that we like to go. So while I was out mowing the yard, I looked over and I'm like, they're on vacation. So I went over and mowed their yard as well. So when they get back, they'll have a nice mown yard. It's raining today in Noblesville. So had I not done it when they got back, probably looking at 6 to 7 inches of grass that they would have had to contend with. So I did that for one of the neighbors that we have here. This morning, I made a stop. I shouldn't have, but I made a stop. I was a little hungry, so I stopped through McDonald's, and while I was there, the lady handed me my debit card back, and I said, hey, while you're at it, pay for the person behind me. And so she scanned his order. I'm not sure how much it was, $4 and something. It didn't really matter. If it was $20, I would have still paid for it. And then I pulled forward, and I just kind of kept an eye in my mirror to see what the reaction would be, and was happy to see the biggest grin on this guy's face and kind of like the look of shock of, really, somebody paid for my breakfast? But you could tell that it kind of made his day with the big smile that he had on his face. So that was kind of nice as well. Yesterday for Boss's Day, we had a pitch-in, and we decided to have a chili cook-off, and I am a connoisseur of chili and have won contests, and so I was making chili just for everybody. However, we have a couple of people in our office that are vegetarians, so they wouldn't have been able to participate. So I looked up a number of different recipes and kind of pulled together what I thought were the best of all the recipes and created a vegetarian chili just for them, so that they would be able to participate in the pitch-in that we were having and actually be able to have the same type of food, the same soups that we were having versus needing to bring in their own. Then today I was trying to come up with what the last one that I was going to do. I've got another one yet to describe, but I was trying to think of what the last one, and I happened to see a coworker coming in with a box, and as we were talking, he mentioned, I've got to go to the bathroom. Sorry to bring that up in this, but I'm like, hey, well, give me your box, and I'll just walk it back and set it on your desk so you don't have to worry about that. And he was appreciative of that. And then later that evening, I noticed that one of my coworkers that's actually in my team had a piano bench, and thought it was kind of strange, but somebody had gifted it to her. So I asked if she would like me to carry it out to her vehicle so that she wouldn't have to lug it out there. So I had the opportunity at 2 different times today to actually help by carrying in and taking some load off of somebody that so they didn't have to do it. I actually had the opportunity to pay forward something that was actually done for me about 3-4 weeks ago. I was driving home and wasn't there. It's a 2-lane road, and there was somebody beside me, and in the middle of the road was a big S-clip on a cord, and I couldn't get out of the way, and I hit it and drove it right up into my tire, blew the tire, and so I'm on the side of the road. It had been raining, so it's wet, and I'm trying to change the tire. I've never changed the tire on this particular vehicle, on the van, and trying to get it out. And some guy pulled up behind me and said, "Hey, I don't know much about cars, but I'm willing to help you." And so he crawled under the car with me and helped me get the tire down and off, and then I was able to get the tire changed. So as I was driving home last night, I noticed a young girl in a car, and her front tire was completely blown. It was flat as all get out, and so I went to the next little U-turn that I could do and came back behind her and asked her if she needed some help, and so I was able to get her tire changed, and I had to make sure that I got it changed in time because I was on my way to pick my kids up at the daycare, and if you're past 6 o'clock, they charge you extra. So I was able to get and stop and get her tire changed, as well as pick my kids up with about 2 minutes to spare. So that was nice. So it put a little strain on me, a little added pressure that I wasn't expecting last night, but I was glad that I was able to help her. And as I was changing the tire, I told her about what happened to me and the pay it forward. And as I was leaving, she goes, "If I have the opportunity, I don't know whether I'll be able to help somebody change a tire, but I will make sure that I stop and make sure that they are okay, and make a phone call if needed to pay it forward for you helping me." So that was really nice to have her say that. And then finally, this is kind of the bonus one. This is the 7th, an extra one that I'm going to do. I actually work for Indiana Wesleyan. I'm one of the enrollment counselors, and I have a student that is going to be starting her MBA program on Monday of next week. And so I'm going to go out this weekend and buy different things, candy, maybe a bag of chips, different little things, and then before the class is supposed to start, I'm going to run down and buy one of the ice cold bottles of water that we've got inside the vending machine and put that in the bag as well, with a card just wishing her luck as she begins the process to get her MBA, and try to brighten her day as she's starting something. I know we all remember that very first class that we had, Pastor Church and World, and looking around at everybody in the class and just trying to figure out how we were going to actually get it done. And here we are, almost halfway done, and we're doing quite well. So I just want to make it nice for her as far as a way to start off. Don't know how her action's going to be. Hopefully she'll enjoy it. I'm sure she will. But that is my plan, is to do that little extra one then coming this Monday. So that's it from Noblesville. Wish you guys the best. Miss seeing you. Can't wait to see you all in Marion in June, July. I tried to talk to Dr. Smith to see if there's any way to move our class a little bit since we finished that, and then the papers are due 2 weeks after the class, which is during the time that we start our next classes in August. So I kind of put that little seed in his ear. We'll hope, see if anything can change, and maybe we'll get our classes earlier during the summer and get that all taken care of. Well, again, I wish you the best. God bless, and go Cubs. Bye.